been 84 years.
Okay, I know we're all excited. Right now, there is a lot of Final Fantasy 15 stuff coming out right before the big release, like top 10 things you should know, or the history of the world, or the best angles to see Prompto's butt, you know, etc., all that good stuff. But you know what? Let's forget all that informational and helpful crap for a second, and let's just relax. Take a step back and reflect on the past 10 years so we can look forward to the Final Fantasy 15 release. God, I want this game, holy crap! Anyway, yeah, but real talk, let's just talk about Final Fantasy 15 over the past 10 years. I know, this sounds fun, and this video is probably going to be irrelevant here in the few days, but gosh dang it, guys, we're here to have fun. Now, for the people who have been following the development of this game, this is very exciting. Holy crap, it's coming out after 10 years. I know, I'm freaking out about it. I've been following the development of this game for at least 7 years now, and I remember seeing the trailers for it originally. I'm like, what the heck is this? This is interesting, back when it was Final Fantasy Versus 13, and seeing it come this far has been amazing, and the hype is very real. By no means is Final Fantasy 15 going to be a quote-unquote bad game. It might fall short in some areas, but it's going to be generally good. There's some quality assurance since Square is banking so much on this. The point is, if you plan on making Final Fantasy 15 your first Final Fantasy game, you are gonna have a weird time, my friend. See, the problem with Final Fantasy 15 for newcomers is not the fact that it's the 15th game in the series, because Final Fantasy games are not connected technically. Like Final Fantasy 7 and 8 have nothing to do with each other. 9 and 10 have nothing to do with each other. They're only sequels if the number is in the title, like Final Fantasy 13 and Final Fantasy 13-2. You get it? Okay, they're all separate. No, you don't need to know past Final Fantasy games to get into this one. That's not the point. The point is, seeing all the trailers, watching the development of this game, Square Enix has shoved so much of the development in so many trailers for this game, it's kind of unreal how much content we have before the game comes out, that I worry that Square is kind of bank on you knowing the development of the game to get into the story, because from what we know, they're kind of just throwing you into it, and I'm sure they're going to try to give you like some information about what's going on and why you're a boy band stuck in the desert, and you know, who's Prince Daddy-O and all that stuff. But as a fan and as someone who's watched the development of it, there's a lot of stuff you should know before jumping into it, and I do recommend that to people. It's like, man, this Final Fantasy 15 sure looks hot, dandy, and spicy. I think I'm gonna go pick it up. I recommend just like reading a wiki page on this or something, or watching a video on like catching up with the Final Fantasy 15 history, because if you just jump into this, I guarantee you're gonna be like really just getting whiplash with how much stuff this game's gonna try to tell you in the first hour or so. Or again, I don't know. I haven't played the game. They could explain it really well, but there has been so much stuff added before the game starts that I worry that if you're new to the series, you're gonna get turned off really quickly, so do your dang homework, okay, kids? That's pro tip of the day. Now, if you want the history of Final Fantasy 15, go somewhere else, guys. It's really a big old hoot. There's been stuff that it's like, was that part of 13, or is this part of 15? There's other videos explaining it better than me, because Lord knows I'm all over the place with stuff. I don't know who half the characters' names are anyway. I know the gist of what's going on, and real talk, if you want the real gist of things, I'm just gonna say, read a wiki page, watch Kingsglaive, or just read Kingsglaive. Honestly, it's an alright movie. Check it out if you like anime. And then watch Final Fantasy 15 Brotherhood. That's a baby anime kind of explaining the relationships with the protagonist and whatnot. For those who don't know, Noctis is the protagonist, you know, the most emo in the group. He is the one, just so you know. And Brotherhood, the anime, explains how he's friends with all of his people and who basically the characters you're going to be stuck with are. I recommend just watching that. No, don't read it. Don't look up pictures. Don't do a synopsis. Watch it. It's adorable. There's a dog. There's a fat kid. There's like these little pastry things. It's great. It's so good. Watch it. Please watch it for me. Now, if you're kind of curious about the development of this game so far, for those who don't know, Final Fantasy 15 has technically been in development for 10 years. Yikes. But it hasn't really taken 10 years to make. If anything, it's maybe taken 4 or 5. Mainly because Final Fantasy 15 was originally called Final Fantasy Versus 13. It was supposed to be a part of Final Fantasy 13's universe, part of the Nova Fabulous Crystallis series, which I think that kind of fell flat. Oops-a-daisy, Square. I like the concepts, it just didn't work out. The point is, 15 was originally supposed to be on the PS3, and it was supposed to be an entirely different thing, different combat. I mean, if you watch some of the original footage for this game, it looks kind of similar to what it is now, but it, obviously revamped. It's on a different console. But before, it looked more like Kingdom Hearts, like emo Kingdom Hearts, if Kingdom Hearts wasn't already emo, but like darker, like Hot Topic version of Kingdom Hearts meets My Chemical Romance, but it was completely different. And for whatever reason, they didn't keep it in the 13 universe. I think they realized that the game looks so different compared to 13, and 13 wasn't doing so hot at the time, that they decided, screw it. It's got such a different vibe compared to 13 that they decided to just make it 15. 15, which is great. And I honestly think it was a smart move because, you know, it was seeing Versus compared to 13 was like, man, this is just really cool and creative stuff. Like, it's got a completely different mythology, and the fact that they made it a new installment is good. 10 out of 10. I agree with that. That was good stuff, Square, for once. And one of the things people have noticed, and I've kind of noticed too, is that, you know, the amount of evolution that this game has gone through, you wonder if they got away from their original vision of what they wanted the game to be. But looking at the comparisons of it, Final Fantasy 15 and Versus 13 ain't that different. If anything, they're very similar. Like, yeah, they move some things around. Yeah, they change some character names. Yeah, they moved events and stuff, blah, 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 blah. But the core is still there. Noctis is still a prince of the area. Lucius and Niflheim, you know, Grandpa versus Grandpa. It's great. They stuck to the core of the story. We'll never know what Versus 13 actually turned out to be, but with the fact that they stuck to their true vision of the game and maybe revamped some of the combat and the events and kind of changed the focus on, like, the boy band thing, which I kind of like, doesn't make me worried for the tone of the game whatsoever. For those who don't know, the director of Final Fantasy 15 was originally Tetsuya Nomura, who directs Kingdom Hearts, which is great because Nomura is freaking crazy and the dude is like super ambitious, and at one point he wanted to turn Final Fantasy 15 into a musical. Glad that didn't go through because good god. The dude's crazy, but he's got tons of ideas, so he kind of like built the basis for 15, and then Tabata took over, and for those who don't know, Tabata is the director of Final Fantasy 7 Crisis Core, or at least the game I think he did the best in. Crisis Core is a fantastic game, go play it, it's great. Best PSP game, hands down, also makes me cry. But the fact of the matter is, Tabata knows how to make the emotional punch, and then Nomura is like the crazy, I got these cool ideas and we're gonna make them work kind of guy. So the fact that they were both working on 15 is great. So I have no doubt in my mind that 15 is gonna be a fantastic game. The thing is, though, is that Square really wants this to be their next Final Fantasy VII, and you can really tell they're pushing it. You know, they had a movie with it, all the promotional stuff that they put onto it, just all this junk that they're adding onto it to hype up the game, and it makes me kind of worried because it's like, will it surpass expectation? And so far, all the promotional stuff we've seen, yeah, it will. I mean, they've shown us everything, like from the gameplay to the world to their underwear color. I don't know. They've shown us everything about the game that doesn't make me skeptical at all. The question is, can this game be more popular than Final Fantasy VII? I don't think so. I don't think it will. Final Fantasy, yeah, is a household name. I don't think enough people are gonna buy it. The JRPG craze is just kind of down. I know Dark Souls kind of like revamped some of the RPG people, but you know, Final Fantasy VII's a JRPG. You're killing God with the power of friendship. Different kind of focus here. So I don't think Final Fantasy 15 is gonna surpass 7's popularity. I think it's gonna be popular. I think it's gonna be a good game, but by no means is it gonna like break barriers. Like, oh my god, this is the greatest game ever made. I do think it's going to rejuvenate kind of people's with Square recently, because Final Fantasy has gone through a little bit of a dry spell. A lot of people hate 13. I'm actually a fan of 13's concepts. I hate 13.3. I think it's garbo. I think the story got so bad later down the line, but I liked it. I liked 13 for the most part, but a lot of people got turned off from it. The original Final Fantasy 14 was crap. They had to like completely scrap it and bring it back, and granted, Realm Reborn is actually pretty good now, and a lot of fans like it, but you know what? That'll hurt a lot of people's feelings. What a way to turn off customers. Oops. So a lot of people are banking on Final Fantasy 15 to be the saving grace of the Final Fantasy name, and I think it is definitely going to bring a lot of people back, and let's pray to God it's good. It's honestly depends on a lot of things though, because a lot of people tend to like the kind of Dungeons and Dragons parts of Final Fantasy. I know a lot of people scream that Final Fantasy 6, 4, and 9 are like a godsend from heaven, and it's like nothing is ever going to top it ever, so what's the point? But for me personally, and I know for a lot of people, Final Fantasy 7 was one of the first Final Fantasies to implement kind of like a futuristic kind of feel, and I just adore fantasy mixed with hardcore technology and reality. So when you got Prince Noct on the screen with like cars and technology and magic all mixed together with monsters, I'm gonna just nut all over the place. It's so good. I love the concept of 15 so gosh dang much. And I know for some people it's kind of a turnoff who wants to be a boy band traveling across the country. Well, definitely not you, but totally me, if you get what I'm saying. Now, many people are gonna ask, hey Buns, are you doing a for beginners on Final Fantasy 15? Yes, holy crap, yes. I've been talking about this game for almost 2 years. I plan on just getting the game, locking myself in my room for a week, beating it, and then getting a video on it as soon as possible. Now, a lot of people's concerns with 15, if it's going to be good or not, is the gosh diddly dang delay. I'll admit, I was pissed off by it. You can hear me screaming in a video if you want to go see that. That's there. The delay I was not happy about because it was hilarious since Square Enix had this massive event where they announced the September release date and then they backtrack on it. And I understand the reason behind the delay. They wanted to implement the day one patch into the game so people didn't have to download stuff. Okay, fair enough. I'm not like saying Square's an idiot or anything like that. They had good intentions with their delay. I just thought, like, why didn't you think about that before? But it is what it is. I was upset about the delay, but the big thing that cracked me up about it is that so many people were screaming, oh no, Final Fantasy 15 is delayed again. Oh no, it's delayed again. Oh no, not again. Well, actually, this was the first time it's ever been delayed. Final Fantasy 15 had never had a release date before, or Final Fantasy Versus 13 had never really had a release date before. They never gave a release date for any of the products, really. They just said, oh, it might be done here, or we're not sure, or it's still being worked on. So that was the first time it had ever been delayed, and that's why that big celebration thingy was such a big deal, because we finally got the freaking release date, because we had never had it before. So when people say, oh, it's delayed again, like, nah, son, this is the first time this has ever happened. It's just been in development hell for years. So I just want to clear that up. I found that kind of funny. Now, they also announced that they're going to be adding some DLC stuff, some extra features. Multiplayer is probably the biggest one that they're adding. Supposedly, it's like co-op multiplayer with the gang and the group, and that's cute. I dig it. That's good crap. That's the kind of thing you add into a game. Good job. Perfect opportunity to do so. I want to be Jimmy jamming with my buddies in the car. It's gonna be great. I'm excited. Good job, Square. Good job. Never thought I'd say that often, but holy crap, good job, Square. The fact of the matter is, this is just a bunch of 15 rambles. I'm excited for this game. I wouldn't say I'm hyped, but I would say I'm hyped because I'm babbling like an idiot about a game that isn't out yet. The moral of the story is 15 is everything I love in video games. I love the combat. I love the design. I love the lore. I love the hair. Obviously, look at my dumb hair. And I think if you are kind of hesitant about Final Fantasy 15 or JRPGs in general, just wait for reviews and then try this game out, because I guarantee you're gonna find something you like about it considering how much crap they're shoved into it. And just to clarify, Final Fantasy 15 is an open world, real-time action JRPG with anime boys, so why wouldn't you pick it up, am I right? Buns out!